one of my favorite sayings of Winston Churchill's is, when you're going through hell, keep going. And we kept going, and we didn't give up. And our customers kept going. And luckily in the UK, thanks to the government support, our unemployment figures are actually only slightly higher than they were before the pandemic, which was one of the lowest levels since the 1970s. So the economy is held up in that sense, but we've also got massive challenges looking forward, globally. I mean, the UK and globally, we've got inflation, we've got supply chain issues, we've had energy prices rocketing, we've got labor shortages, we've got interest rates going up, and the inflation figures are expected in the UK alone to reach over 7%. And this is a global phenomenon. So we've got to be resilient to be able to get through what is a fragile recovery from already having gone through hell. So it's not easy, and this is where government support is going to continue to be needed. What is the point of having £400 billion spent in saving businesses in the economy if you're not willing to follow through with it? And that follow through may not be another £400 billion, but it does require continuing that support to help your economy get through. And that also means in the UK's case, we've put up taxes to the highest level in 70 years. This is the worst time to put up taxes because businesses have suffered so much already, and that will stifle the recovery and growth.
We've spoken about rising energy costs contributing to what's now being called a cost of living crisis on the ground in the UK. Has the government done enough to address this, and should they be taking more responsibility for homes and households who are clearly struggling right now?
The reality is it's a global fragile recovery. It's not just the UK. Every country in its own way is feeling the challenge. And how do you deal with a challenge like that where so much of it is outside your control as a government? The energy costs are a global phenomenon. Shipping costs, in some instances, have gone up 10 times. So it's how you deal with it, with the government's concerned, in terms of encouraging investment and growth. So I believe the answer is not to put up taxes. The Indian government, for example, they've had 2 budgets running, including in February this year, where they have not put up taxes. Because they've said if you put up taxes, businesses have suffered already, and you might stifle the recovery. And what is the result of that? The IMF have forecast that India this year is going to be the fastest major economy in the world, fastest growing at 9%. So that's the solution, is support from the government, the follow through of all the vast measures that so many governments have put in through the pandemic, carrying that support through. And it's businesses and consumers alike that are suffering. Now the British government has just announced that the heating cap is going to go up by 50%. So it's that much more expensive. Consumers are already struggling with inflation on lots of other products. And then on top of it all, businesses don't have any energy cap. We take the full burden of any energy increase ourselves. So it's very difficult businesses.
We'll talk about your focus here in Dubai. You're going to be speaking about the relationship between the UK and the UAE. How would you describe that relationship? How would you characterize it? And why is it so important?
The relationship historically with this region has been very important for the United Kingdom. And going forward, it's a very important area from a trade and business point of view for the UK. And not only Dubai itself, not only the UAE, but the whole of the Gulf. So since Brexit, the UK has now had the ability to forge our own trade deals with countries in the world, regions of the world. For example, and I think, again, hats off to our trade department. It didn't exist. It's only been around since 2016. But we have rolled over 66 bilateral trade agreements that the European Union had with other countries before the deadline. I mean, that was a feat in itself, which the CBI played a role in helping to get over the line. On top of that, we've just signed a trade deal with Australia. I mean, that Australia FTA was negotiated in 1 year, and it's the most comprehensive free trade deal in the world. It covers everything: goods, services, innovation, IP, mobility, small, medium-sized enterprises. It's a really comprehensive deal. We're about to sign one soon with New Zealand. We just launched the free trade deal negotiations with India, which is going to be a very big deal for the United Kingdom. And the GCC grouping is a very important one for the UK as well. And I think we're that is a top priority for us, is to sign a trade deal with the GCC.